Hey there, everybody. So I started on New Game Plus on Silent Hill F, and I've already made a few pretty interesting discoveries. I'm probably going to add this to the later to the video showing the different endings. But yeah. So for starters, once you immediately start in the game, the dialogue she's having with the dolls is different. It's talking about how getting married is a job, and why doesn't she want to get married? And then really interesting, the dialogue from the father is actually very different in this case. He's not as upset this time. Instead, he's kind of urging her to accept something, and the mother's trying to reassure him. And Roomby had been saying this on a stream, but it really does sound like the father sold her to some older man or some other guy or something to pay off his debt. Because I was wondering, how did he pay off his debt? Did he kind of sell off his daughters to an arranged marriage or something? Oh, this is empty. We should go in here. Yeah, and it turns out that, yeah, it looks like he did sell at least Hinako to, or try to sell her to some guy he knew in exchange for money. So that is all sorts of fucked up right there. Yeah, as soon as you enter the game itself, it actually is completely different dialogue, which makes me think a lot of the story is going to go differently. So I'm still not going to do the whole playthrough because that would be 15 more hours. But yeah, I'll definitely record some of the more interesting parts. Also, we found a few interesting files around. You can see Hinako now has drawings and descriptions of all the different bosses she encountered, and you can see there that's the one of her. Here's one of her mother. Interesting thing, she said there's no way that she was a human to begin with. And this one, it was only the curse of fatherhood that made my dad appear human. This form, his true form, must have been hidden underneath all along. That's interesting because if you remember, you found that file in the Otherworld library that says her whole family lineage was cursed. They were all cursed. So that does make you wonder, could she just be exaggerating, or is she really starting to realize that her family is not quite human? That they may not be exactly what they appear to be at all. Also, there's an interesting new entry for the Inari-sama. Look what this one says. The Inari-sama of Ebisugoka has been the guardian deity that has protected this town since the old days, but they can be capricious at times. Sometimes they'll turn to a fox and steal chickens and dry persimmons. Other times they'll play tricks on children who don't listen to their parents. I also heard when they fall in love with a woman they find desirable at first sight, they spirit her away to be their bride. Assuming Hinako was getting married to this older guy that her father arranged for money, and she didn't want to go through with it, someone or something came to spirit her away. Who does that remind you of? Who exactly does that sound like? Well, I'll tell you exactly who it sounds like. It sounds like silver-haired Mr. Fox guy. So now I'm wondering, is he the man Hinako's father sold her to? Or is he the one who's trying to rescue her and then mold her in his own image? Like, yeah, it's really interesting. Also, this place is open here. So yeah, right away I can see it actually is a new game plus, as in you're finding all sorts of new shit you didn't find before. What do we have here? I need a key. I'm sure we'll find one. Research journal photo 1. A photo attached to a research journal appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugoka regarding the legend of the sacred sword. However, it is said the sword's animosity continued to grow even as it remained buried under the earth, so the people erected a sacred barrier around it using Jinzo statues as anchors. If one wished to find the sword, they should start by looking for these Hizo statues first. We've probably seen that in the previous playthrough and didn't know what it was. Also, I'm noticing the dialogue for the mountain gate changed, which I think we might actually go up there this time at the end. The one that's blocked off near her home. I'm thinking it might be accessible at the end. It appears that the barrier works by creating a spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. Harmony, yin and yang, the five elements of Wuxing. During this period, it was thought that everything was composed of five elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. That's the first time I'm hearing of wood considered an element. Therefore, 5, in quotation marks, was a number associated with harmony. In other words, there should be 5 Jesus statues. Are 5 such statues located in this town? I expect tracking them down will prove a tremendous task.
Maybe the old Jizo-sama in town? I'll take a look.
Okay, so we gotta find five statues. They'll lead us to the sword. Oh, look at that, a TV. The hell's this? Oh, Arare. We're gonna need to rely on that because we cannot touch a single one of those pills. They are toxic. They drive us psychotic, and they might actually be sending us to a hell world. So we gotta avoid those drugs. Also, I found one interesting note by a doctor who moved to the town. No, it was about a doctor who moved to the town, and it was saying that a foreign missionary came around here in 1776 and brought along a medicine or medicinal herb that he claimed could let you speak to the gods and the divine. And once you took it, you could fall into a coma. The downside was you could fall unconscious and be possessed by evil spirits. I'll give you one guess as to where that missionary came from. We don't know where he came from. So people are wondering, oh, is there a connection to the actual Silent Hill? Yes, there is. The Order was screwing things up in the world even as early as 1776 because that is the only place that guy could have come from. The Order from Silent Hill. Yeah, foreign missionary. He was a missionary, right? But he wasn't a Christian one. He was one of theirs. And he brought White Claudia. So I'm guessing, and you even see the plant, and lo and behold, it's freaking White Claudia. We need a key for that. So here's how I'm guessing. I'm guessing White Claudia was not native to this region. I'm guessing he brought it here, presented it as a medicinal herb. He introduced it to the locals, and they started growing it like crazy, and that's why they have it now. They've planted it all over, and yes, it's a hallucinogen, but it's also, as we know, it does have valid actual supernatural power. So I'm guessing the gods that were quiet here might have started communicating with them again. So yeah, what do you know? The Order is screwing up other towns outside of America, even as early as the 18th century. So way to go, guys. You cursed the whole nation of Japan. Those fuckers. This is from Sakuko, but it's too cute for me. Yeah, man. Everybody was wondering, what's the connection to Silent Hill? Well, there's the connection to Silent Hill. Or the Order sent one of the missionaries here, and this was before they turned bad. Remember, they weren't really evil until like the 20th century. But either way, they brought that plant here, and I think they cursed the whole damn region. So isn't that cute? He always told me, play house like a good girl should. Oh yeah, that's our fucking dad. Balcony key. A key stored on the doll's back. It seems to open the balcony to the next room from the back. No, it seems to open the door to the next room from the balcony. What the hell's that? I'm keeping an eye out because I want to find out the UFO broadcast. Damn, we need a lot of keys to open that. I wonder if we need 5 keys that we then take to the 5 statues to get the sword. Packing tips. A book by a well-known expert on how to carry large amount of supplies. Increases inventory capacity. Your inventory has been expanded 12 to 13. Oh, hell yeah. We're going to need it because we're going to need to carry lots of Arare and all that shit because we cannot touch the pills. We gotta give that to the shrine if we can, or just discard it. A boy's diary. I'm gonna be a treasure hunter. I'll make sure of it. Then I'm gonna become a millionaire by finding treasure all around the world. And not just hunting treasure. A real treasure hunter sometimes takes down big scary beasts and bad guys. And don't forget that they have to learn how to escape dangerous traps too. I was play fighting with the girl who lives next door when Mom got mad at me. She said, "What if you leave a scar on her face, then nobody will marry her?" What's that all about? That's Shu's house, right? I think that girl would be a really good treasure hunter though. She always finds the hidden treasure when we play treasure hide and seek. I want to become a treasure hunter with her someday. Oh, that's nice. He wanted to be Indiana Jones. Cool. Treasure hunting game key. A small iron key, unclear what it opens. Should be related to a treasure hunt mentioned in a little boy's diary. I see. I can give it a try. Damn, we're finding all sorts of shit over here. Okay, here we go. It was in the other room, right? I promise I'm not going to record the whole new playthrough. I'm just recording this section. Where's that key? Can't open it. Wasn't it open a few minutes ago? Oh, here it is. Treasure hunt game note. You're real good at this. Not any bozo could find this one. Too bad this isn't a treasure. But points for trying. You were so close. Oh, we got a chocolate. So yeah, we cannot trade the chocolates to the shrine for this playthrough either, because we're gonna get our ass kicked. I want to show you. It turns out you do not keep the toolkits, which sucks. That's awful. But we do have the omamori. We don't keep the weapons, but we do have these. So I put this one. That way, whenever we pick up food, we pick up health. That way, we don't even have to use it. As long as we pick up food, we can pick up health. Kaboom! You got blown to smithereens by my doo-doo bomb and died. What the hell? Anyone with half a brain would know this would be a trap. That's a term. That's an interesting term. Frickin' doo-doo bomb. What the hell? Got some arare. Nice. Hiya! You got stabbed by my doo-doo spear and died. Anyone looking around here for treasure is no more fodder for my traps. It's no more than fodder for my traps. This boy's obsessed with doo-doo. What the hell? Arare. Okay, say 3 out of 5. We got 3. Look at that, it's a Raiden hat. Like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. There we go, faded bride doll. An old doll made in the shape of a bride made from clay. It seems to have been forgotten for a long time. This is the treasure? Yeah, don't sweat it, Hinako. I'm sure we have to do something useful with that. Something that'll stop us from turning into a hideous abomination. I used to have fans like those a long time ago. Those desk fans. Okay, so we explored this boy's house. Got everything there is to get in there. So we have 13 slots, so let's see if there anything else we can pick up over here. I think what I'm going to do for this one, since I have it on hard mode now, I'm going to keep constant saves and try not to get injured too much. That way we can save some health items. Because I've been watching Runebee's playthrough, like I said, and that thing looks like torture. It looks like pure and utter hells. Especially the bosses and that pregnant, multi-boobed pregnant monster. That thing looks like it's fucking annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep multiple saves on this. I'm gonna save every time I kill an enemy that might be damaging. And that way we can always go back and reload. Because you don't really have to play it on hard mode for the endings, but that's just something I want to do for the trophy. I want to play it on hard mode for the trophy. And I'm playing the balanced puzzles now. I'm playing the story difficulty puzzles now. So I'm doing it the reverse of what I did last time. Last time I played game difficulty, story, aka normal, and then I balanced out the puzzles by making them harder. This time it's the reverse. I have the enemies harder and the puzzles more difficult. We're gonna save. You can see here we're keeping this one to go back to it so we can reference it in case we need to start over, but we have this save right here. Okay, so yeah, we got balanced and story as the two difficulties. You can see there we got the pill that's signifying the regular ending, which I think I can safely dismiss now as being a load of bullshit, because we're getting all sorts of hints about stuff going on that we didn't even know about. I didn't even consider the fact that her father might have actually sold her to a man to pay off his debt. I thought maybe he started doing something with the cult, the Fox clan, but it could be all of them. That he could have sold her to the Fox clan, and then it could be that the guy he sold her to is the silver-haired guy we've been seeing in the dream world, or it could be the reverse. Like that dream guy could actually be some type of deity who interfered and basically took her away to make her his bride. That might be why her mind is split in two different sections at once. You know, part of her is here in the real world, but then another part of her is in the spirit world, and that's why she's split in two, because he has her spirit kind of captive in that place. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating so far. I'm gonna explore more on my own and see what else I discover. So you probably won't see this video for quite a while until I have more to add to it. Maybe I'll just update it here and there, you know, in brief bursts. That way we don't have to wait too long. Because I have a feeling we're gonna find more interesting stuff, like the search for that sword and those statues and anything else we come up with. So yeah, I'll explore on my own, but I'm definitely going to add to this video. But so far, yeah, so it seems like a legit new game plus, not just something with a few bonus items. They actually seem to have given you actual real incentive to play the game again, because now I'm wondering what else about the story is going to be different. Are their interactions going to be different with Rinko and Shu and all that stuff? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you for now. Like I said, I will add to it. I will add more to this video as we go further along in this playthrough. So see you in a bit. Okay, we got that wax statue, which we now have to offer to one of the Jizo statues, which are, there's 5 in all throughout the town. There's actually one right here. This is what they look like. So let's see what that does. Offer the Faded Bride doll. I found the damaged Jizo statue in the mountains. The character for Sushi, Earth, can faintly be seen etched into the stone base. I wonder what will happen if I offer something that relates to that character. While we're on the topic of offerings, I remembered that I offered my old doll once. My ears were bet with the soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. Alright, so we got 1 out of 5. Then we can claim that sword. We also got a new entry for the town. Is this one right here? It said that the kanji for Ebisu and Ebisugoka holds the meaning of a person who has migrated from far away. The most fanciful theory for the origin of this town is that it was once a hidden village for Taira clan soldiers who lost the Genpei War. In the town's old customs, there are a few rules that seem like part of a secret village's code. including things like not owning dogs or washing things in the river, but whether or not it's the truth remains a mystery. That's kind of weird that they wouldn't own dogs. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to own a Shiba Inu? Also, I can't believe I missed the connection about her being married. Because I was watching Roomby's stream, What Else Is New, and yeah, they happened to bring it up, her in the chat, and I can't believe I missed it. I thought it was Junko's wedding. No, it was Hinako's wedding. I'm guessing to that older man, since we know her father basically sold her as a bride. And I guess that's where she snapped and went berserk and started killing everyone. So the thing is, like I said, I'm afraid of all this turning out to be in her head, because I really hate that story trope, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think what's happening is she came back here to visit the old town before she got married. I'm guessing she was going to get married here. And she came back to get, to visit the town, her old friends, her parents, etc. And so instead of seeing it as it normally is, I'm guessing that's what she's seeing, the Silent Hill version of it. With the fog changed everything back to when she was a teenager. Because I was puzzled, because it said a female in her 20s during that radio from the cops that were chasing her. And I was thinking 20s, so could it be Junko? But no, I'm guessing it's Hinako's. And basically she sees everything as it was in the 1960s. Instead of her present in the 70s, where I'm guessing things are pretty bleak and dark. So yeah, I can't believe I missed that. It's really obvious in retrospect. But again, I don't think it's purely a fantasy in her head. I think, like I said, she went to the town, but because of the town's supernatural ability and all the torment she had inside her, she's seeing it as it was 10 years before, or 7 years before, or however long it's been since she got married. So I cannot believe I missed that blatant pretty much hint for the story. Okay, so we offered 1 doll. We gotta find 4 more. We need 1 for each of those statues. I'm guessing we'll find more things to offer as we go along. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do the UFO ending or not, but I'm still gonna trigger most of the hints for it. You basically have to find the 3 posters, listen to the 3 broadcasts. Okay, so you can't check it from here. You have to go to the title screen. But yeah, I think I might go for it, because even though I like saving the UFO endings for last, the problem with this one is if you complete it on hard mode using the UFO ending, I think it might count for that trophy. So we'd easily get the trophy for completing it on the harder difficulty. But the thing is, though, is if Lost in the Fog is going to be so difficult, even with the sword, I wonder if I shouldn't save it for Lost in the Fog difficulty. That way we can just play 2 hours of it, and that's pretty much the whole playthrough right there. We just complete the 2 hours, and using the UFO ending, we don't have to deal with all the rest of the bullshit. I wonder if it'll actually stack like that. So I don't know. I'm guessing when I come to the last thing for the UFO, which is finding the review for the Space Invasion movie, I guess I'll make a decision then. So I believe the dialogue has changed between the 2 gossipers in this one.
I do quite envy her, though. I can't believe it was her. I have to say, I'm rather jealous. Why her of all people? Shh! Someone is going to hear you.
Someone already heard you, bitch. Yeah, so you can see they're jealous of Hinako getting to marry a rich older man. They don't quite realize the hell she's being put through and how she's on the verge of snapping. So yeah, people just assuming everything's fine and rosy just because you have money, and in this case it doesn't really matter. She's getting treated like crap. I'm guessing, like the chat in the stream I was watching said, I'm guessing she lost all her friends. So I'm guessing by this point in time, in her 20s, maybe like 24, 25, she's pretty much alone, except for her husband, who probably doesn't even really want her as an actual wife, more like a trophy wife, Because it was a business transaction between her father and whoever it is that older man is. I'm guessing. I still don't think the silver-haired fox guy that everyone calls Inuyasha is just a figment of her imagination or just completely an otherworld manifestation. I think he's based on whoever that older guy is. And that's why she seems to be falling under his spell over and over every time they're in the other world. I'm guessing it's all based on stuff in Hinako's real life. Nothing is really invented. Because that's not the way Silent Hill works. It doesn't really invent anything from nothing. Like it invents monsters and stuff based on your own life experiences and so forth. Except for the few that happen to be actual supernatural creatures like Valtiel in Silent Hill 3. Valtiel, who they call the attendant of God. So that one's a real supernatural creature, but all the rest comes pretty much from the character's psychology. So again, I don't think that silver-haired fox guy is any different. He might not be an actual cultist, depending on whether he's real in that sense or not. He might not be an actual cultist, but he's definitely based on the older man that Hiroko's marrying, that's for sure. So there's Shu, our good friend Shu. Now that we know he's kind of a drug pusher on pushing drugs onto Hinako, I kind of view him in a different light. He's not quite as innocent and charming as he was before. Because whatever he gave her is part of the reason why she had that breakdown. And like I said, it's probably part of the reason of what called the Silent Hill effect into here. You know, it summoned the supernatural. So now that we know what he's been doing, you tend to view him in a very different light. Also, Sakuko still calls her a traitor. But now that we see her call her a traitor, we actually have more insight into it. I think the theory I've seen is that Sakuko is really upset that she went off and got married and stopped being friends. She doesn't really realize, you know, the years of pent-up rage that Hinako has inside her at that point. So they must have been quite surprised when she snapped and started killing everyone. Because to them, they probably assumed she had the perfect life. Oh, she's married. She's off with an older man, married. She's rich now. She's got everything she wanted. And no, not really. She has everything she didn't want. So it's funny to hear Sakuko call her a traitor. When the truth is, Sakuko probably did that in real life. But they didn't really understand that she didn't want to be married. It was her father who sold her off to be married. I'm guessing maybe they thought she would have resisted, but without them offering her a clear way out, it's pretty tough, because what else was she going to do? She was only 16, so what, is she going to just flee the town? I guess go to Tokyo or some other big city and try to get away from them? You know, her options are very limited, especially with how controlling her father is. You also notice she's wearing the brooch. She's wearing the brooch that Yasha gave her. So I think that's further evidence that it's kind of a time loop, or at least it's a psychological loop. So I'm guessing, since we know the first ending is not the canon ending, they told us that outright. It's only one of the endings. You have to play the game 3 times at least to get the true ending. So I'm guessing whatever's going on in the town sent her back a bit to give her a second chance, give her another try to try to redeem herself, I guess, because otherwise she wouldn't have this right here. And that's an actual physical object pinned to her, so I'm guessing it is kind of like a loop. Boy, developers love their time loops in horror games nowadays, don't they? Silent Hill 2 Remake, even though that one, I tend to believe that's just for fun. I don't think it's actually a loop for James. I think that's just the developers having a bit of fun with the audience. But they still push the loop theory nonetheless. And then you have Chronos, which is one big giant time loop again. You know, that's a time loop as well. What other ones have had that? Well, even Alone in the Dark had a little bit of it too. The remake from last year. It wasn't strictly time travel, but even there was kind of a loop in terms of reliving past events. So yeah, developers and horror games seem to be going all in on these these time loops in the stories. I guess I see the possibilities, but I also don't want them to get stuck in it too much, because if everything's a time loop, then it becomes tedious at that point. It's no longer creative. You're just riffing or copying off of someone else's work at that point. It's better to come up with your own original twist for the story. I know that's difficult to do because so many horror and sci-fi shows have used so many twists. I mean, the Twilight Zone itself pretty much used every single fantasy, sci-fi, and horror trope there was in existence, so it's pretty hard to come up with something completely original. But I still don't like the notion of time loops becoming all that prevalent in gaming stories. I think
It's true.
1 or 2 is fine, but I'd rather they find some other twist than that. Like I said, I don't buy the Silent Hill 2 one at all, because then it just completely destroys the moral of the story. If James is stuck there forever and there's nothing he can do, and even if he does it right, he's still going to be sent back over and over, and what's the point? There is no point to playing the game, because James is never going to get out of there, so there's no point. He's just stuck in one big circle like Razio was in Soul Reaver 2. But that's no fun, because like I say, if the game is trying to maybe not teach us a moral message, but it's trying to illustrate the morality of James's situation, then having him stuck there with no recourse no matter what he does isn't, that's not really gonna, it doesn't really result in a good story, because there's literally nothing he can do. So there's literally no point to his quest. You should feel nothing for him, because there's no way out. So I prefer to think of it, that's just the developers messing with the audience. Oh, let's make you think he's been there for 25 years or 20 something years and he hasn't gotten out. But then if you look closely at it, it just falls apart, especially with Laura and Angela. Like, what Laura did do to get stuck there for 25 years? Unless you're trying to say Laura's not even real, that she's a creation of James's mind. But if that's the case, then James's whole story falls apart around him. Then there's no emotional component to the story, so it just doesn't work. Like, it's a fun theory, and I get what the developers are trying to push us, to try to think if that's a possibility, because it makes the game more intriguing for them. But I think it just doesn't work. There's too many plot holes. There's like 10 plot holes with that loop theory, and then it just falls apart. So the scene with Sakako was actually kind of new.
Partner?
Shoo.
This one is still the same. It actually gives you a prompt for when there's a new scene. It says skip new scene or not. So
Say something.
What about you? Nothing you want to say?
Well, if you don't have anything, neither do I.
So obviously we know
That's
now
not
she's
good.
not talking about being pregnant or anything like that. She's talking about getting married. And I guess they don't know what to do.
It's not like you to just let stuff happen, though. But whatever you end up choosing, I'll always be there for you.
I'm guessing that turned out to be a lie.
Shoo.
Funny thing is though, why didn't he offer to marry her
Thanks
then?
for waiting.
That would have gotten her out of it.
And Hinako too.
Rinko.
What were you guys talking about?
Nothing, really.
Because his family seems to be well off.
said that she just wanted
possibly.
to talk to someone.
It helped, too.
Oh. Glad to be of service, ma'am. If I had known you'd be here, I would have brought that magazine you lent me.
Oh, you can hold on to it. I knew I wasn't getting it back when I lent it to you.
What's that supposed to mean? What do you think you're laughing at? You've got something of hers too, don't you? Right?
Wait, did I borrow something? Hey, Hinako. Do I get to hold on to the 500 yen I owe you too?
What happened to paying her back with interest?
I never said that. You can't prove I did.
Okay, that does it. If I lend you something, you're signing a contract to give it back.
I'm guessing she never got back to 500 yen either. And of course now we know that's Hinako herself. Now we know it's her own manifestation. It's not the god of the town or anything like that, it's her own manifestation. Maybe powered a bit by the supernatural. Like I said, I don't think it's all in her head. I think it's more like
Sorry.
she's seeing the town differently. The way James and Heather and all the others see the town differently. The English voice acting is actually pretty good. There's a couple lines here and there that don't sound quite natural. Mainly some of the father's dialogue, but all in all, it actually sounds pretty good. Yep, there she is, Mega Hinako. So it's actually a trophy for avoiding this monster, not getting hit. So we're gonna try to get that trophy. The main thing is to avoid the walls. Because the walls, like that grass right there, that'll get you trapped. It's kind of difficult to dodge because Hinako runs side to side, but yeah, mainly you want to avoid the walls. Don't let them touch you because otherwise you'll get stuck there. There we go, I think we made it. Avoid that one. See, they're reaching out, but you can kind of avoid them. Just stay strictly in the middle. God damn it. Gotta restart. God damn, we were right there. We were literally right there. That sucks. I think we took too long. Alright, let's do the autosave then. God damn, we did so well in avoiding it. We did so well in avoiding it, and it got us at the end. We were literally right there to the part where Junko throws you the ladder.
It's Shu.
Alright, so we can skip this because we've already seen it twice. There we go. That sucks, man. We were literally right there. Yeah, you can kind of see the wolf on a little bit if you look. You want to give them a wide berth, that way you don't run too close to grass. Hopefully that one doesn't grab us again. Ah, god damn. Nope. That sucks. We were right there. I think we took a wrong turn. That blows. I'm trying to get that trophy. The thing is, it doesn't really make a difference where you get it on easy, story mode or hard mode, because the pattern's still the same. It's not like an enemy that does different damage. It always follows the same exact route, no matter which playthrough you're doing, so. Alright, let's give it another try. It really bugs me that we were right there with the beginning one. We almost had it. Let's see if going ahead of time gives us a little relief. Alright, here we go. Stay away from those limbs. I think we almost have it. Hell yeah, we made it. Now we just gotta wait. There we go, like the fleeing hare. We got it. Now there's two more. One for the part where it chases you in like the forest, and then another one for where it chases you near the end of the game. So there's three different ones. There's three different ones. This one was the easiest, but I don't think the forest one should be too bad, simply because a lot of those enemies don't actually attack you. They don't actually attack you all that quickly, so if we could just run past them, we should be able to avoid them. Okay, now these, remember, you cannot take any of this at all.
It's just like my partner said.
Red capsules, get those out of there. Get that trash out of there. We don't need that to heal. Instead, we're gonna heal using some good old fashioned Arari. Candy will heal us. Let's see. Fine, I wanted to find something stronger, but I guess we'll eat a chocolate so she stops whining.
This isn't good.
There we go. The good old-fashioned healing power of candy, Hinako. Alright, so we got through that part. One trophy down. We actually found a bandage shortly after I took that candy, so that was wasted candy. Could have just used the bandage. Would have gotten us to full health.
Shoo! Rinko!
So one note also you want to take a note of, you cannot sell the pills to the shrine for any faith, so you might as well just leave them there because you can't use them, or it'll affect the ending and you won't get either the second or the third ending, and you also can't sell them for any points, so you might as well just leave them there. Don't even pick them up. Save your inventory space for stuff you actually need. I know it seems obvious, but the temptation might still be there to pick them up, thinking maybe you can sell them to the shrine. Nope, they are worthless. So they're worthless to Hinako in the story, and they're worthless to you as the player. So now it says avoid the monsters because normally you don't have a weapon, but this time we do. So here we go. First enemy encounter of hard difficulty. You notice the Omamori we have equipped Greatly decreases weapon durability, deals additional damage, and also change it to slightly restores health after defeating an enemy. That way, if we take them down, we get some health back. Ooh, it's quick. It's much quicker than this one. Remember, we did start off on hard difficulty. There we go. Oh wow, 2 hits. Nice. Yeah, that's much better. That is much better than that bullshit we were struggling with when we had no upgrades. That is way, way better. So if this is just a pipe, I can only imagine what the hammer and axe and then the actual sacred sword are going to do, especially the sword, because that thing shouldn't break. Obviously it's a story important item, so that won't break. Yeah, so when you put them all together with the Omamori, I can definitely see why this game would then become enjoyable to play, because you're just running around beating everything to death like you're Harry Mason or James at his best, and or Heather with her entire repertoire of arsenal weapons. Like, she had a sword, she had a machine gun, shotgun, everything, a maul, a pipe. She had everything, a lightsaber. So yeah, I can see when they stack together, I can see how then the combat can become much more tolerable, if not enjoyable. But it's just a shame that you have to play 2 or 3 playthroughs to really get all the stuff you need to make the combat fun. Like, that shouldn't be that way. They should give you some slack the first time around. Because it's funny watching Ruby's playthrough. She in the chat thing, they think story mode is too easy, but you saw story mode. That thing was brutal near the end. Like, that was almost impossible to complete. And I was watching her play hard difficulty. That was her first playthrough, and she basically lost her fucking mind playing that. So no way am I gonna play that without any enhancements. Hell no. But I wish they would give you the sword. You know, if they don't want to give you the full sword, just give you like a cheap imitation or something, you know, or like a lower tier version of it, you know, a lesser powered sword, something you can use. Because we're in freaking Japan, why are you not getting a freaking katana? I'm guessing the sword is gonna be the katana, but they really should give you something, you know, better. If they don't want to give you the main sword because you'll become too OP. If they don't want you to easily overpower the enemies, just give you something moderately good, you know. Maybe not give us the sword, but give us something we can use that's a lot better than our regular equipment, because we've earned it by that point in time. Alright. Has she been interested in fighting? Because she doesn't seem to be too eager to make her way over here. Let's see if we can get this one too. There we go. Nice. Oh hell yeah, look at that thing. That thing's not even decaying at all. Like, look at it. It's still only... The way you can tell is when it starts becoming like a crescent shape, like half of a moon. So that yellow line starts deteriorating. But look at that. We've only done 4 hits. That thing is perfectly intact. So that thing does not decay at all. Oh hell yeah. And we don't need to strike them more than twice anyway, because it's so powerful. So imagine how the axe is gonna be, or the hammer especially. Oh, keep Shu's drugs out of her, man. Now that we know we have a drug problem, we have to confront it. Okay, so the first part of the UFO ending should be around here somewhere. It's like a metal archway that you can kind of sneak off. I thought that was a crowbar or something for a moment, or a pipe. Yeah, it should be around here somewhere. You can kind of sneak off and crawl under it, and then you'll get to a secret little area with the radios there, and you can listen to the radio broadcast. Oh yeah, that's a stupid ass pill. We don't want that. We don't want shoes, crappy homemade drugs. Like someone said on the chat for that stream, this is why you don't have a 16-year-old prescribed medication. I know. Oh, there it is right there. There it is, the first part of UFO ending. I know that one guy, what was his name, KG or something like that, did it in Persona 3. He was kind of dispensing medical advice. The art guy. The guy who ran the art club. I never finished his story, but I know he was dispensing medical advice. But the thing is, he was actually training to be a doctor. You know, Shu is definitely not a doctor, so there's a difference, you know. There's a difference between someone whose family just dabbles in medicine and someone who has actual medical training, which that character actually did. His father was a big important doctor, and he already had a lot of knowledge and training. So there's a big guy giving you a prescription, and freaking Shu in the mountains giving you a prescription like that. That goes without saying that I would trust the other guy a lot more than I trust Shu, especially when you're working with it. You're not even really sure what they are. And now that we know the Americans brought White Claudia over here to Japan, then, you know, Hinako's probably high as hell on that thing. Which not only causes hallucinations, it literally sends you to another world that's like hell, so... In summary, it's all Shu's fault. Shu got us, drugged us, and turned us psychotic, and got us in all sorts of trouble. Thanks, partner. Thanks, Shu. You're really looking out for me there. Got some Yokan. So that's what destroyed the bridge. Remember when Rinko said, oh, there's no way out because have you seen the bridge? And then you checked it out. It was like one giant, like, not even a spiral, but it was like the two pieces were literally lifted up and they were just like curling in on themselves and the whole thing was broken. Yeah, now we know it was the aliens that broke it. It wasn't Hinako or the monsters or anything. It was the aliens who broke it. Alright, so that's part 1 down. Now, apparently the next one we have to get it before we enter the house. I'm assuming they mean that house you go into that you can't get back out. So we gotta save as soon as we find another shrine. Okay, so we explored that. Which way did we come from? Okay, yeah, we came from this direction. What's over here? Have we been over here? The hell is this place? What in the hell is this place? Well, we're about to find out. Maybe he has one of the... Maybe he has an offering for one of the statues. Someone is lurking out there. Local doctors note. There are cases where patients see an improvement in their symptoms by not taking medicine, but rather by simply talking to a doctor. The cause of this phenomenon lies undeniably in the trust fostered between practitioner and patient. Conclusively, the pharmacists who have been trusted since ancient times perhaps could be said to contain a similar power to that of the local gods here. So that's very important because remember that Shu gave her that medicine, but he said he suspected what was really making Hinako feel better was her talking to him. So that explains it. She felt better because she talked to him, not because of the crap he gave her. The crap he gave her was actually making her worse physically, but she felt better for a moment because of being able to talk to him about her problems. Even among the younger generations of this town, there are many who believe praying to Oinari-san will soothe pain and speed up the healing process. One's fortitude of faith is thought to have direct relation to potency. There are even some town elders who claim to have had broken bones miraculously mended after praying to Oinari-san. Normally I would dismiss that as superstitious nonsense, like praying can't break a bone, but in this case, who knows? Who knows? Maybe the god does have some actual power here. Oh yeah, look at that. That thing is not going anywhere. It is it is staying put. So yeah, we got ourselves some super weapons now. Oh hell yeah. Hineko's the melee god. Okay, let's go find the other one. They said a UFO ending only takes like 2 hours to accomplish, so that's why I'm not sure if I should get it first just to get it out of the way or not. Okay, so we have a new file. Diary of Revenge. According to the Nihon Shoki, one of Japan's most ancient history books, Yamana no Orochi, a colossal 8-headed dragon, demanded the sacrifice of beautiful young girls for it to devour. We know that name for the Persona games. That's the big dragon with all the multiple heads, if you remember that one. Upon hearing this, the white deity Susanoo no Mikoto brought 8 barrels of sake to the dragon and lured it into drinking them. Once Yamada no Orochi had become intoxicated, he slew the dragon by chopping off all 8 heads. Yeah, Susanoo is also in Persona 2. All these deities are in Persona. And according to Ebisugoka's oldest historical records, after being decapitated, one of Yamada no Orochi's heads flew far west and fell between the mountains of Higa no Kuni. The head eventually came back to life as a poisonous water dragon that plagued the land for many years to come. Higa no Kuni is known now as Ebisugoka. There are records of toxic gas leaks from the underground water streams in the past. It is highly possible that this is where the legend of a poisonous water dragon stemmed from. However, while the local records state that Yamada no Orochi's head flew here, there is no mention of this in the Nihon Shoki. It is not hard to surmise that some shameless individuals put a religious spin on the noxious leaks to turn a profit and falsified connections using famous literature to solidify their claims. And we got an EMA that we can use to upgrade. So yeah, I'm guessing that the religious guys took advantage of it and they were saying that it was a dragon, that a dragon head was there. And that explained the toxic leaks from the water below.
It opened.
Yeah, so this box just opened here. You can only open this box on second playthrough. I guess once you got in the Fox site, like you do the walls in the other world, it does not open on its own naturally. You have to open up in the second playthrough. Once you've received that particular gift from the Fox mask. So now that we have an email, we can actually go upgrade. Because we have all this faith right here. We have 1 email. We can upgrade stamina, increase our Omamori slots, sanity, or health. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait a bit because I want to see if I can reach 5,000 faith. There's probably a couple items ahead. But we do have this 1 Omamori that I equipped. When using a restorative item, you will not be interrupted by normal attacks. This is critical because if you gotta heal using a health kit during one of those boss fights or during one of the major enemy attacks, you know, like those pregnant monsters that are huge, or like the guys who will jump on you, you know, the blind guys who hunt by sound, they cannot interrupt when you're healing. Because that was definitely annoying in the regular game. The fact that they would interrupt you if you tried to heal while you were fighting them. Now that won't happen anymore, so we're getting a lot of good stuff. It sucks though that you have to replay the game again to get some of the stuff and actually make the game more fun to play, you know, rather than just playing for the story. That kind of sucks. Kind of blows that the second and third playthrough are where the game really shines, but that's how it was designed, I guess. But I do want to upgrade the slot eventually because I believe you can upgrade to 4. And then in the third playthrough, you can upgrade to 5. That's why there's that empty space right there. You have 2 more you can use. So when I next upgrade it, I'm gonna keep the well one, but I'm also gonna put back this one, the one that says slightly restores health after defeating an enemy, because that way, every time we beat one down, we actually get we actually get more health, so that keeps us from using a lot of health items, which is super important because as I said, you cannot use the pill, so you're relying completely on bandages, the candy, the arare, the yokan, stuff like that. So yeah, once we reach 5,000 faith, we're gonna upgrade that to get a second, to get a 4th slot for another Omamori. That way we have 4 of them equipped, and it makes things much easier. Also, from now on, you actually don't have to get anything for the UFO ending until you reach the rice fields. So from this point on, you can play normally until you reach the rice fields where Shu's there, and also that's where Rinko's house is. That's when you also want to start searching for the UFO posters, and you have to view them in order, otherwise it does not count. So we'll get to that when we get to the rice field. Alright, so it says it's a new cutscene, so let's see what's different about this one. It's handy that they put that little notice there so that you can know which ones not to skip. I wonder if there's also going to be some new ones in the 4th playthrough. Or the 3rd, whatever. For the 4th ending. Because you don't need to get 2 and 3. You only need to get the first one, which we did. And then either the 2nd or 3rd, and then you can get the 4th ending. Oh yeah, that's different. Offer up flesh and blood. That did not happen before. So that our clan may prosper. Alright, so let's see
Where am I?
let's see what's new about this puzzle.
What's this?
Because I'm playing on the story difficulty for the puzzle, so let's see what's new here. Okay, so the hint is the same. Oh, we got one on the sacred sword. Come to think of it, the local elders were talking about folklorists from Tokyo who came to Ebisugoka to research the legend of the sacred sword. Okay, so that's showing us the first statue. Oh, okay, so yeah, these, why are they in knots? What the hell? I just noticed that they're in knots. Huh. Oh, the knot style, I get it. I get it. So let's look at the rat. That is, if we flip him sideways, that would be, that would be this one over here. Oh, that's pretty creative. It's the knot style. And then this one's obviously here. We don't even need to examine that one. That would be this one right here. And that just leaves the last one. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this is still the same.
must have been some nightmare.
Nightmare?
Are you injured? You must not be so reckless. You should take better care of yourself.
Thanks.
Shall we get going, Hinako? What's wrong? This way.
Okay, so yeah, this is still all the same. Nothing's changed here for these cutscenes.
What's that?
Now here we have one of the UFO posters that we've been looking for. You can see it right there. If you approach it from the side, you'll have a prompt to examine it. However, if you look at this one with the mini UFO, you do not want to examine this one until much later, because apparently this is the third poster. So if you examine it now, out of sequence, you know, it will not count towards the UFO ending. It'll be out of order and it will not result in the proper ending. So even though we know it's there, right here in this area, we cannot examine that just yet. We actually have to go examine one all the way over here first, and then hunt down a second poster. Otherwise, yeah, that will disqualify you from getting the UFO ending, just letting you know. So we know the location, we know where it is. It's right here, but we cannot examine it just yet. As long as you look at it from a distance, it's fine, but you cannot examine it up close until we have the other two posters first. Alright, so we broke the steel pipe. Let's see how the baseball bat fares with the new enhancements. Let's see how powerful it is. You can also see we took a little bit of damage because we underestimated one of these damn dolls and it actually got a slice in on us. Over here, bitch. What are you waiting for? What is she waiting for? Come on. Let's see how this works. Okay, so it's more or less the same strength as the steel pipe. It's not stronger. Maybe slightly stronger, but there's not a huge difference overall. It doesn't pack that much more of an impact, so I think we have to wait until we get the hammer or the axe to really see the improvements for like the emergency for like the heavy weapons. The axe in particular. Cause yeah, it looks like the baseball bat and the steel pipe, even though they don't decay as much, you can see they're still intact. But I think there's still two other fairly weaker weapons that we can get. We have to get the crowbar and the sledgehammer and the axe to really see a massive improvement in how much damage they deal. Especially, like I said, the axe and the hammer. I imagine those will actually be one-hit kills on most of the enemies. And here we have clue number 2, Research Journal Photo 2. A photo attached to a research journal. It appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugoka. Yeah, so this is to do the offerings. So you can see it's pointing towards a specific area. It looks like the side of a house. That means we gotta find a statue and offer it something within that area. I have not seen yet a side of a house that looks like this. I'm thinking this might be the side of the doctor's house. Regarding the legend of the sacred sword, in the Muramochi period, the great famine of Oe had young individuals desperate for quick money, and so they searched for the legendary sword. One sword even claims that the sword was discovered. However, the youth who found it became consumed by the Taira clan's resentment and massacred the others one after another. Damn, so he went into like a rage and just killed everyone. After that, the sword became known as the Sacred Sword, and is thought to contain the lingering animosity of the defeated Taira soldiers. Where was the sword hidden after that? There's not enough information. I must search for the Jizo statues myself. I was able to get in contact with a resident who knows the location of an old Jizo statue. That may be my first clue that will lead me to the sword. Okay, so this gives us a clearer picture. I'm guessing what happens if you try to use that sword to kill your other self, basically your evil self, without purifying it, it's just you're just gonna turn to like a serial killer or something. You're gonna become consumed by rage, because that's what happened to this guy who found the sword. That's why I think she's also exploring the town just on a different plane of existence, because there's no way she could know or make up all this stuff herself. Like, this isn't just years and years of lore. This is basically centuries of lore, or at least several decades. So there's no way she will be able to create all this stuff herself in her mind in just a few years between the time when she was a teenager and the time she got married. So I think she is exploring the town. She's just doing it on like a different plane of existence. And so this Hinako we see here, even though she looks 16, she's probably like 25 or 26. But she just sees herself in the same way she used to before she left the town and got married. So we're basically playing as her past self. But she appears this way because she hasn't yet accepted the full reality of what's happened. But I'm guessing if you use that sword, like I said, you try to kill your alternate self without purifying it first, it's just gonna fuck you over. We like the whole Palpatine thing in Star Wars, where if you kill him in hatred or anger, it'll just consume you. And then he'll just transfer his essence over to you, and now you're the new Sith Lord, but you have all his rage and anger inside him, and all the hatred he had. You can't kill him out of hatred. You can only, if you're gonna stop him, you have to do it out of good emotions, trying to save somebody or trying to save the Republic or whatever. But you cannot. The one thing about him, you cannot absolutely kill him in anger or hatred, or else you'll screw yourself over. So I'm guessing the same thing kind of applies here. Like, you cannot use that sword to kill Hinako's alternate self, because if she does it without purifying it first, she's going to become consumed by rage. And judging from what we heard by the police report, I'm guessing she'll become a full-blown serial killer at that point, like Walter or Eddie even though Eddie only killed one person, but still. So I'm guessing more like Walter, considering the area we're in. We're gonna save. See, I still don't know where to pursue the UFO ending or not, because I wanted to do the two regular endings first. But the problem is, I really want to see that gun that they gave you. I think it's a gun. It's probably the laser gun that Shu had in his dungeon in the shrine. So I really want to see how that works, because we have seen no long range weapons whatsoever. Obviously, the game is based entirely around melee, so guns wouldn't be needed here, and they wouldn't really be appropriate in the era that we're in. But I want to see how strong that thing is. So, like I said, I wanted to do the UFO ending as the fourth ending, or yeah, before we got the final one. But I think we might have to go for just to see that gun. I want to see what that thing does. My curiosity is stirred. And the Hyper Blaster in the first game kicked all sorts of ass, so I wonder if this is going to be one of those weapons too that breaks the game. Because if so, we could definitely use it for Lost in the Fog difficulty, where I assume one hit will kill you, or 2 hits will kill you at most. So even with all the weapons and stuff, I imagine we'll need a pretty souped up tool to be able to pass that difficulty without too much trouble. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll make up my mind by the time we reach the last and final poster. But oh, and we also got to read the review of the movie, but I think I might go for it just to see what that gun actually is and how goofy it looks too. Oh, we have another box. What does this one give us? Diary of Revenge. Jumping to the end of the Heian period, the infamous Genpei War wreaked havoc across the country, and defeated warriors from the Taira clan fled to all corners of Japan for sanctuary. Ancient folklore claims that Ebisugoku is one such hidden sanctuary. Few ventured close to this land, for the poisonous gas that rose from the ground was a well-known phenomena. This made it the perfect hiding place for those shamed warriors. Though this did not come without its own inherent problems, as there are numerous records regarding Ebisugoku's residents suffering from the water dragon's poison. It's only natural then that they would turn to idolization as a device to quell the dragon's anger. However, despite the popularity of the faith at the time, not a hint of its legacy remains today. It just goes to show that even the gods are not exempt from the fickleness of man. Alright, we got another Emma. That means we can upgrade again. I wonder if there really is nothing left of that faith, or if they just hide it pretty well. Maybe it's like the Order in Silent Hill, the actual town, where they just hide in plain sight. Because given how mystical this place seems to be, I find it hard to imagine that whole faith just disappeared completely. Seems like they might just be hiding it in plain sight. Okay, so where's the photo? Here we go. Okay, so we got that one. Now we have that one. Okay, so it looks like a pile of sacks. Maybe barley sacks or rice sacks, probably. Piled up behind the house. So we gotta find... It looks like 4 rice bags stacked on top of each other. That's what we gotta find. I know we have to go into the fields yet, but I don't want to do it just yet. Yeah, we have to find 4 different bags of rice stacked, one on top of the other. It's not over here, is it? I don't think we've seen that just yet. Oh, maybe over here, closer to this house. That's the doctor's house. Shu can keep those drug pills. Giving us all those pills, turning us into a druggie. Just a drug-affected mess.
Go away.
She skitters along fast. Alright, come on. Get your punishment. You don't have to wait for that. With the enhancements, it just makes the battles quicker. But you can still well on them like usual, and it'll still affect them. You don't have to wait quite that long to attack them. I just don't want the weapons to break easily. That's why I go for the strong attack, but you can actually just hit them normally and it'll probably kill them pretty quickly too. Okay, so we're looking for 3 bags of rice. There's nothing over here. So this must not be it. Like I said, I still haven't decided whether or not to use to do the UFO ending here, so I'm erring on the side of caution and just trying to make note of where the shrines all are in the first place.
Doctor?
The lock is broken, it won't open. Can we climb this one? Alright, we can. I remember now. If only this gave us a better view. Because you have this area here, but I don't think you can enter it just yet. I don't see any way into that area. Plus, I don't see the rice bags either. That's a key characteristic of the photo. Alright, let's keep searching. Okay, I think we missed this note the first time. Either that or it's new, I'm not really sure. Local doctor's note. I had assumed up until now that being possessed by the fox was a sort of curse. However, it turns out that among the followers of the Inari faith in Epistogoka, it could be more nuanced than that. I heard one tale of a housewife who was possessed by the fox after sharing some scraps of food with a real starving fox. As a sign of gratitude, the fox showed her the whereabouts of hidden treasure. Another tale claims that a pious shaman was possessed by the fox and given premonitions of a coming famine. They were able to warn the town and stockpile enough food to endure it. There are numerous stories like this suggesting that being possessed by the fox is not necessarily a turn of bad luck. Though with the influence of today's media from outside of town regarding ghost and horror stories, the fox has become seen as a purely negative phenomenon, particularly among the younger generations. Okay, so what they're trying to say is not always a bad thing, so sometimes it can actually bring them good fortune. Because if you think about it, assuming Hinako is possessed by it and she's not just drugged out of her mind, if she had never come to this place, she never would have been able to resolve, her many issues in her life. She would just remain trapped in that horrible marriage forever. So in a way, it's almost like a kindness that is granting her a second and maybe even a third and a fourth chance to actually get out of the situation she finds herself in. So it might not be a bad thing. Like as hideous as Mr. Foxmask is on the inside, there might actually be a benefit to interacting with him that isn't immediately evident. Like maybe in its own way, the town or this area is trying to help Hinako, just like it tried to help James. It tried to help him and Angela and even Eddie in its own way. They just all had varying results, but it could be that had she never actually come here and dealt with all this stuff, she never would have fixed her life. So depending on the outcome, it could actually be a positive thing that she came here, got trapped in this fog world, because it actually allowed her a chance to resolve all the many lingering issues with her life and possibly escape what would ultimately probably be a pretty abusive marriage too, considering the guy's supposed to be so much older than her. So yeah, like the fox spirit might actually be doing her a favor. I hear you. I know it's in the other room. There's a 10. Is that the day she got married on? The 10th? Oh, this one's new also. I don't think I saw this one before. Old medical record. Fujitori Koroyuki, age 9. The patient had joined a group of children chasing down a fox that had wandered into the village. The fox then attacked the patient, leaving several lacerations on his face. The wound below his left eye is particularly deep and shows a considerable risk of scarring. Oh, so this was the boy that Hinako saved when she told him how to be cautious around the fox. And that was when you had those fucking idiots wanting to basically lynch the fox for attacking the boy. Like a bunch of dumbasses. But this was the boy she helped save. During treatment, he suddenly fell unconscious and was measured with a fever of over 40 degrees. Emergency transfer of the patient to the prefectural hospital was requested. Upon arrival, however, the doctors were unable to detect any abnormalities even after multiple rounds of testing. After confirming his condition was stable, the patient was cleared to return home the following morning. Yeah, that sounds like he was possessed by something, because if he had a fever of over 40 degrees, but then they took him to the hospital and there was nothing there, then that's obviously not some scientific phenomena. That's supernatural at that point. Something is in him that technically should not be there. So that's definitely some type of spirit presence for sure. That's not any normal fever. When questioned during the follow-up examination, the patient responded that he felt completely fine. According to the patient's mother, however, Koroyuki is like a whole other boy and has been applying himself to his schoolwork harder than ever before. So it actually made him smarter and more determined, at least. So yeah, that's definitely some type of possession, but it sounds like it had a beneficial effect on him. So I think that may be implying that there is a chance for Hinako to come out of this a much better person and maybe escaping the hell that she's caught in, depending on her choices. Because we could go one way or we could go the other way. It depends on her choices and what she does with that sword. Oh, is it downstairs?
Is someone there?
Come on, we know you're in there. Just get it over with. Just get it over with. What are you looking at, mannequin? Oh, that's just the radio mocking her, congratulating her on her marriage to this rich older asshole who only values her as a trophy wife. That's the radio mocking her.
Is this
I guess the thing about Silent Hill and
offering?
even this type of Silent Hill, I'm guessing it, even though it tries to help you, it doesn't have to be completely benevolent. It can be mean-spirited too, like all those phantom calls to Heather that we never resolved. The phantom call to her from the birthday caller, and then James with that game show host in both versions. So I'm guessing even though the supernatural person tries to help you out, it's not completely 100% benevolent. There's still some mean-spiritedness there. Claw marks? Yeah, we know that bitch is around here somewhere. We've seen her. But where did she go though? Oh, there she is. Come here, bitch. Yep, we're not gonna wait for that one, because I can tell she's not gonna do... I could tell she wasn't gonna do the wind-up attack. When they start spinning like that, trying to kick you with the blades on their legs, that's a sign that they're not doing the wind-up attack, which means you can't counter them. Just want to get the Omamori that gives you auto counters. You don't have to worry about doing it, because that way it'll be perfect. You can counter them perfectly without having to anticipate when they're actually going to do that one move. Because you saw there, she did not do it. She was spinning, and had I not struck her there, she would have slashed at Hinako with that blade and cost us some more health. So that's one common complaint I've seen about the game from everyone. The fact that you can't really predict when they're actually going to do that attack. Sometimes they do it and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just slash at you when they feel like it. So that's why that Omamori will definitely be useful, because then it'll do it all on its own. It'll be automatic, so you don't have to worry about the timing. You just have to worry about not taking a shit ton of damage from their attacks. Okay, so we found what looks to be 2 new doctor's memos. So let's continue on. The other part of the UFO, the first thing we have to find is somewhere around this area right here. There should be poster next to a shed in that area. And you can tell it's that area because I looked at the map. And the map clearly shows this straight road going up and down across it, and then it's all the way to the right. So we know we're on the right track for the UFO ending, but I'm trying to find the statue to see where we can make the second. Alright, so we've reached 5,000 faith. We have 2 items that'll get us over the line. We have 2 dried carcasses, so we're gonna offer those. There we go. So now we're officially at 5,300. Let's offer the tea as well. Clear up some space. Should we offer the Ramune? Greatly restores current max sanity. Oh, but we're not going to get much for it. Let's offer the divine water. There we go. We got 5,500. So now what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade. And we're going to upgrade the Omamori slots to 4. There we go. Your prayers were heard. You can now equip more Omamori. There goes over half of our faith, but it's worth it. Cannot increase any further. So basically, on this playthrough, that's it. You can only get 4. You have to play the game again to get the final one. Because they tell you have to go to the ending. To get the final ending, which is a true ending, you have to actually play the game 3 times at least. One with the regular depressing ending where she's kind of in a haze, wandering around the town in like a drug-induced haze. I have not seen the second one. And then we're gonna get both in the same playthrough. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep different save files, and then when we have to make the choice to purify that sword or not, we'll go one way with one save file, and then we'll go the other way with the other save file. And then the third playthrough will just be the normal ending. But yeah, so you basically have to play it again in order to get it up to 5. So you only have 4 here. But the thing is, four is more than plenty, because now we can equip another one. So let's see what we have. This you want to save for a boss fight. I think I'm going to put this one. Oh, we already have the whale, we have the spider, the wolf, and the whale. Okay, so we have those equipped. Slightly restores health after defeating an enemy. Perfect dodges become easier to perform. Deals additional weapon damage. We have those equipped. Greatly decreases the amount of stamina consumed. That's not really all that useful. So we have perfect dodges. And we have slightly restores max sanity. Oh, what about the one where she picks up health? This one slightly restores health upon picking up food items. Or should we do after defeating an enemy? Let's do defeating an enemy. There we go. Because that way, every time we strike one down, we'll get a bit of health. So we won't have to use up as many supplies. Now, should we upgrade the health or not? Or should we upgrade max sanity? What should we do next? Because I think we're good on health for now. And it's going to cost a lot of faith. Where sanity only costs us 500. That means if we do get hit, we won't lose as much sanity. And we'll still be able to perform the heavy damage attack. So you know what, let's go for sanity. We can always find some more stuff to trade later on. Your prayers were heard. You now have more sanity. There we go. It went up to 800 now. We're going to save. And of course, now that we know the backstory for this, that's really appropriate because we know Hinako is insane. So she actually needs all the sanity she can get. Any more sanity that can be added to her mind will be a definite bonus. Because as it stands right now, she's currently insane. So we need all the help we can get. It's like Evil Within 2. Just pump that green juice into our brain and it enhance our capabilities. Like good old Sebastian. Okay, so now that we've upgraded and we have a shit ton of health, stamina, and sanity, we gotta try to find that other altar and see what we can offer. I assume there has to be a house nearby with an offering because the last time it was the doll. It was a wax doll. So I wonder what we're going to offer this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found a statue. There it is right there, the second Jizo statue. It's right in that little corner there. The only problem is we don't have anything to offer it just yet. We have literally zero stuff on us, so we do have to find an offering to make it because it won't work without it. But there it is right there, right against the tree. You can tell because that's the only statue that's like that, with the whole red marking and kneeling in that meditation pose is right there. So let's make a note of where it is. It's actually right around this area here. So basically to the upper range, you know, above the rice fields, that's where you find the second statue. So there it is right there. Oh, and that was the building he was trying to show us in the photo. It was that, yeah, because you can see it now. You can see the frame. You can see the frame of it right there. And then the statue's behind that. So there it is. We got the second one. Now we just have to go and actually find an offering to actually give it to that statue. Now look at this. This is interesting. Let's see if it shows up again. The screen glowed right there. It's not doing it now, but for a moment you saw her dancing inside. It's actually Sakuko's alternate version. I did not recognize it before. When you get to this area here, go up to the fence and try to go inside. Obviously you can't, but you'll see the screen door right there light up with a silhouette, and that silhouette is basically the boss that we fight in Sakuko in her part of the shrine. So she's actually there already. So yeah, that shows you that this particular world and the shrine world are actually kind of intertwined, because you can see it there for a few moments. I think you might be able to catch a less than a second of it on the video, but I think I activated it too late. But yeah, she was actually there. You could see her dancing inside the silhouette, but it's the boss Sakuko, not the real one. Rusted flask. An antique portable thermos bottle. The glass container inside is broken, so this is no longer usable. I'm guessing that's our second offering for the Jizo statue.
Someone put this here.
Gotta offer the thermos. Got some arare. Okay, so we have our second offering. Now we just have to get over to the to the statue. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save the UFO ending on a separate save file. That way we can always start over from that one and check out the gun and see what it does. But I'm gonna continue on with this save file to get the other endings. That way we don't have to start and do the first 2 hours of the game over again, because the UFO ending basically ends in chapter 5. So when you're heading down the mountain, that's basically the end of the game. So that's why it only takes you a couple hours to do if you're not lingering around examining every type of lore like I am. You know, if you're just rushing through it, it only takes you like a couple hours to do. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get the UFO ending, make that into a separate save file, and then keep going with this one. That way we can keep going with the story and we don't have to redo the whole section all over again. Because that would be kind of tedious. You have to go back and yeah, we have the gun, but now we have to... What are you doing here? Yeah, now we have to redo the first 2 hours of the game.
Hey, partner! That's not the way to Rinko's house.
I know that shoe.
Oh, sorry. Zoned out for a bit.
This is Sakoko's family shrine, right?
Yeah.
Don't think too much about it. Let's hurry up and find Rinko.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah, he's not even there. It's all in our head. Or rather, manifestation of the town. But yeah, I know my own town, jackass. You don't have to tell me where Rinko's house is. Yeah, it's funny, like, I thought Shu was such a good guy, but then once I found out what he did, and now that I've seen the result of his actions, I judge him a lot harshly now, because he should not have given her those damn pills. Like I said, not only did they turn her psychotic, I think they also brought this whole supernatural stuff with them, because he's using it from those herbs that are in this region, and we know this region is basically populated by White Claudia at this point, thanks to that missionary from the Order, so he did not do her any favors. Yeah, how do we get around here? We can see he's right there. I'm guessing we have to kind of... Oh, maybe we can take this path right here. Let's see. Oh yeah, right there. So maybe we can... Maybe we can double around to where it is. Oh, this is also where the UFO poster is. I see it. No, wait, this isn't a UFO poster. The UFO poster is over here. This is actually the... yeah, this is just the shrine. I got confused for a moment. No, the UFO poster is over here. Somewhere in this whiteout area that we haven't filled in yet. It's right there. So this is for the shrine. Here you go, buddy. Have your thermos. Offered the rusted flask. I found the damaged Oijizo-san in the mountains. The character from Mizu, water, can be faintly seen etched into the stone base. I wonder what will happen if I offer something that relates to that character. Is this Sakuko's family shrine? My ears were back with the soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. So what happens if you offer the wrong item? Does it just reject it? Like in Soul Reaper 2, when you try to put the wrong heart in the wrong body, you try to put a green heart in a red body and it just rejects it outright. The shrine. Or the altar, whatever. But I'm guessing maybe you can't put alternate items on there. Maybe you can only just put the ones that belong there. Okay, so I'm trying to see is it to the upper part or to the left? Okay, it's to the bottom because it's underneath this bloody road. Right here. It's underneath the bloody road, so we gotta go back down. Yeah, we gotta go back down, past that road. And go over to where the dolls are stuck in the rice fields. Yeah, we gotta go past that. Now let's see where this leads us. Oh damn, it doesn't lead us anywhere. Because we can't jump over 2 inches of water there on the ground. Come on, Hinako, that's why you wear boots instead of shoes. Let's see. Oh, here they come. That's unfair. How can they jump and we can't? How can that crappy ass doll make such a huge jump and we can't? That sucks. Come here, bitch. It's so easy now. We've got Harry Mason levels of super strength. It's so easy when we don't suck. Yeah, the combat is so easy now. Like this is what was missing from the first playthrough. Oh, where'd she go? She's using camouflage? Oh, she's right over there. Yeah, I recognize this part right here. So we're close to it, but let me take care of this. God damn it, I was gonna say let's take care of this freaking monster here, but let's do it before that other one reaches us. Oh, she's coming. We hear her over here. Thankfully, she can't reach us, I guess, from the rice fields either. She's stuck over there. But I'm pretty sure that's the shack with the UFO poster, so we have to go there anyway. Yeah, I think we have to go this path over here. Although we should probably just kill her right now. What I don't want to do is trigger the fight over here with that insane monster. Even though we can now beat his ass. Because we have the necessary weapons, but I don't want to trigger him just yet. Oh, we can move this. I see. There it is. There it is. Got it. Yeah, poster number 1. It's on the ground. School paper cutout. The legend of Ebisu-goka's monster, Ayakakashi. Long ago, there was a sighting of a scarecrow monster known as Ayakakashi here in Ebisu-goka. It appeared once for a 20 summer day within the crop fields, dancing a most peculiar dancer like a ripple of hot air. People warned not to let one's gaze settle for too long upon his bizarre figure or try and get close to Ayakakashi, for it will chase any who do to the ends of the earth before taking their own life. So I guess that's a hint that they'll follow you forever, basically, until you kill them. And obviously that spawned the scarecrow monsters partially. Here you go. The Great Space Invasion, now in brilliant color. The Great Space Invasion, in capital letters, experienced terror like never before with the invasion of body-snatching aliens. Oh, that's cool as hell. Look at that. Oh, hell yeah. The Greys are around. Hopefully they're not all infested with parasites like the Thing or something. Because that was a version of the Greys in Dark Skies where they were all infested by this weird parasite that was secretly controlling them. So they weren't even really villains. They were just victims. They were being controlled by that Thing. And then they did a reboot of Dark Skies a few years ago that was, I heard, completely different. But I still don't know what the premise was there. If they were still possessed or not. Oh, and then they did that other alien film where it was I believe it was the deaf woman. Was she deaf? I think. Yeah, I think she was deaf and mute, and she was trying to survive a nighttime attack by the Greys. And it turns out that the Greys were again also being controlled by this other parasitic alien, so they too were also victims. And it turns out, I think the interpretation is that they were actually trying to reach out to humans to find some way to get rid of the parasites. So what seemed like cruel experiments to us was actually an attempt by them to save themselves from whatever was taking over the race. So yeah, hopefully these Greys aren't infested by parasites the way those are. Although they might have something worse if they have a Space James with them. That might be worse than any parasite that we can we can imagine. Shu watched this movie when he was young and came up with the Space Wars game we used to play. I watched it back then too because my dad dragged me to see it. I don't have any memories of that time, but according to Dad, it scared me so much that I couldn't stop crying for days. So I'm guessing, like I said, the twist in this one is that I'm guessing that Space Wars is actually real, and all this stuff is just a cover for, like I said, maybe they're in some like Matrix type simulation, or this is like a dream they're having in between missions or something. But I'm guessing the twist for this is that they actually are space rangers of a sort. It's also interesting because it says her dad dragged her to see it, so I'm guessing back then the dad didn't have any issue with the daughter not behaving strictly like a girl. So I wonder that when did that actually start? Like when it started compared to the timeline. Like was it when she became a teenager then? I guess because if he took her to see that movie before, then he obviously didn't mind that it was more sci-fi action movie, you know, for boys at this period in time. You know, boys would be the ones who would be primarily interested in that. So that's kind of sad that the dad seemed to have had some tolerance of her before, and then it just disappeared over the years. I'm guessing it relates to his debt, as he went in debt and then couldn't climb his way out of it. I'm guessing that's when he became bitter and abusive, and then he started taking it out on her and Junko and the wife, and then he came up with that scheme to marry her off to get his money back or something like that. So that's kind of sad in a way that his own financial failure basically turned him into a monster. That's I did not expect that little piece of lore right there, that he actually was a decent dad once. He just became a son of a bitch like everyone else due to his own financial failure. And Hinako even confronted him on it too in that flashback we saw in the last playthrough. Okay, so we have the UFO ending. I mean, not the UFO ending. We have the UFO poster now. There's two left. We know the one is over here behind the general store, but we can't touch it yet. And then there's another one, I believe, near the mountains. Let me check the guide to see where it is. Oh yeah, southeastern region of Ebisugoka's town, residential alleyways, and we have not seen any of those in this playthrough. I think it's this area here, and I think it's this region here. So yeah, that says chapter 5, so that's when we're coming down from the mountain. So yeah, we won't be able to touch that poster for a long time, because if you do them out of order, you do not get the UFO ending. So we gotta get this one first, and then once we do that, we can come over here to the general store and save that one for last. And then there's also a movie review that we have to get, and I'm guessing that'll trigger the UFO ending. And I'm guessing reading that movie review is what snaps her out of whatever this insane dream actually is. The UFO endings usually are comedy, so I want to see how this one plays, because I have a feeling it might be slightly different from the regular UFO endings. Okay, so we got the poster, we got the shrine, so now it's just time to continue business as usual. Alright, so we just finished the Scarecrow puzzle in this version, and the hints are actually pretty different, and it's a lot easier to solve. The 4 hints are: who are you? Why do you always have to be different than everyone else? Freak. Who are you? Honestly, you're helpless without me. Who are you? I'll be your friend, otherwise you'd be so miserably alone. And who are you? Tell me truly. You two aren't anything more than friends, right? I've always been watching you when you weren't looking, you know. And the key to the puzzle is that each one of those is basically Hinako herself. So it's someone addressing her, and the person addressing her is obviously Rinko at that point. You can tell because of the jealousy of Shu and how much contempt she has for her. So the key to the puzzle on this easier difficulty is basically to find the one scarecrow that actually looks like Hinako and not like any of the others. Because I think in some of the others you actually have to find ones that look like Sakuko or Rinko, and then two of them are Hinako. But here you have to find specifically the one that looks exactly like Hinako. That's the way to solve it. And it's always the ones that look like her. None of the others count for anything. So it's definitely very different here than it is in the other difficulty. That's for sure. I think we might have gone a bit too far out. Oh yeah, I think it's 5 phases, right? Not 4. So there's still 1 left. Oh yeah, we hear them creeping closer. Let's tackle this one first. I'm gonna use the sickle for this one. God damn. Maybe we won't use the sickle then, because it doesn't seem to be all that effective. Let's try the knife. There we go. Damn, 1-hit kill. Ah, god damn, we got this bitch to deal with. Yeah, the knife is a 1-hit kill, or 2-hit kill, depending on how many times you hit them. Very smooth dodge right there. Damn, that took off a lot of her sanity and health. But I think after this we're going to the shrine world, so it should be okay. Alright, here's the final one. Who are you? You. Yes, you. You know who you are. So that's another hint, another sign that you need to look for the one that looks closest to Hinako. It may not be an exact match, but it's the closest one. So that one has long hair. No. It's either this one right here with the short hair. That's Rinko. Or this one right here. I think it's probably this one right here. Now this one's a bit more difficult, because there's several that look like her. That one over there doesn't. That one has a bun. So I think it's probably this one. We'll know as soon as we pull it out, right? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, this is new. Article: Child drowns in waterway. This evening, the lifeless body of Shimizu Hinako was found in a crop field waterway after she presumably drowned to death. It is suspected that she panicked after losing her way and began running around in the dark. This is likely when she stumbled and fell into the waterway. The name of the actual child who tragically died has been replaced with cutout letters of my name. What a disgusting prank. Oh yeah, that is fucking Rinko replacing her name. Come on, man. That is Rinko. replacing her name with replacing the kid's name with hers. Because remember, Rinko wanted her to drown.
Hinako!
Wait. What just happened?
Come on! Hurry!
She was waiting for me. I need to
God
go.
damn it. Alright, Shu, we'll be right there. Hold your horses. I'm gonna talk to this bitch. This insane psychotic bitch.
Hey! Rinko!
Like a lot of it, I know a lot of it is manifestations, and some of it is probably Hinako's own darker feelings, but I do think Rinko probably is this psychotic in real life and jealous. Hence why Hinako couldn't ask her for help, because like, if you figure your friend is gonna be stuck in this this insane horrible marriage to an older man who doesn't belong there, you'd think you'd want to help them out, but I guess Rinko saw it as an opportunity to get rid of her and possibly get Shu for herself. And when that didn't work and it backfired, she just started going insane. Oh, this is new.
Hinako!
We definitely want to pay attention to this.
You here?
We'll find out. Rinko! It's me! Shu! If you're here, say something!
God damn it, she's still here.
For me.
I was hoping she'd be gone.
Hinako, glad you're safe too.
Are you hurt? Your family?
I'm not hurt, but they disappeared. Everyone's gone. Even my grandmother. And she can barely walk. I don't understand. Where did they go? What's with the monsters everywhere? What in the world is going on?
It,
Shu, just club her with the baseball bat, man. Just club her with that bat. Such a drama queen. Why are you such a hater?
Sakuko. I can't believe it.
There's
I
the
know.
dolly again.
it's not safe for us to stay here.
Always trying to warn
Gotta
us
get
and
out
we
of
never
town.
listen to it.
Out of town. What about our parents? Everyone.
We can go get help. But we need to do something and do it fast.
We're not abandoning them. But we can only help them if we keep ourselves alive.
But we're trapped here. There's no way out.
What do you mean there's no way out?
Go take a look out the window. You can see the bridge from here.
No way.
Come on, Rinko, you telling me you can't make that jump? Come on. Didn't you brag about being better at running than
What do we
Hinako?
do?
Well, we can't use the bridge. But we can still take the highway.
Past the mountain. Behind your house.
You really think we can make it?
I know a shortcut through the wasabi fields. Rinko, we should bring some medicine and bandages with us.
There's a first aid kit in the kitchen. I'll go get it.
Hey. I'll help you look for it.
Not a bad idea, partner.
Let's see what she does in this version, because so far I don't notice the difference.
Where's the kitchen again?
Yeah, so I thought she used powers when she first did this, and when I first saw the scene, but now she just pushed her. think it was the close-up of her eyes that made it seem so sinister. Made me think she had actual supernatural powers, but no, she just plain pushed her down the stairs. Like a bitch. I wonder if they're experiencing this too and they just think it's some sort of weird dream. In between preparing for the wedding and stuff. Like maybe they are seeing some of this stuff, but they think it's a weird, bizarre dream. Or vision or whatever. They don't quite realize what's really happening. Because there's too much of them in those manifestations. Like they can't all be just based on Hinako's view of them. You know?
What happened?
I think there might be at least a little bit of their actual selves in there. But maybe they're all dismissing that it's just some weird nightmare that they have every once in a while. They can't really understand what's really going on. Because it just seems weird that she would be the only one who would be drawn into it. Goddamn, people speeding down the highway late at night. It's 3:58 a.m. People are acting like they're in freaking drag racing. You can hear it all outside the window. Okay, so we gotta go save.
There he is.
Man, he had to go screw that guy. That guy
I
sucks.
can't wait for me to catch up.
Oh, that's new, I think. Yeah, because he doesn't really care about you, Hineko. To him, you're just a piece of meat. For him to mold and shape as he pleases. You're not really a human being to him. You're just meat on two legs. He looks pretty, but he's a scumbag. And like I said, I'm guessing... I think that's actually a direct manifestation of the older man she's marrying. And depending on where they take it, it might actually be both. It might be both a manifestation and he might actually be a member of this mysterious cult, depending on where they take it. But either way, at the very least, we know he's based on the older man she's marrying. But the way he reacts and the way he smiles at her sometimes with that sinister little smile of his makes me think there's more to him than just a manifestation. Like, it makes me think
I better get going.
that might actually be the old man himself. And Hinako doesn't realize it, but he's in both places at once. So he's not just a manifestation, he actually is the older man she's marrying. Because there's just something creepy about him, and the way also, like I said, that knowing little smile and all the stuff he has her do. Like, I don't think Hinako will come up with all that stuff on her own. I think part of it, yeah, probably is the town manifesting, but then the other part of it, I think it might actually be him. I saw an image of him, and I'm guessing what is the actual final boss fight of the game. So I guess we had to, we just had to wait and see what they come up with. But yeah, like I said, I think that might not be just a manifestation. I think it might actually be him. And he is some type of cultist. Got some divine water. Now I know there's new files in these places, so we gotta keep an eye out for them. Trying to find somewhere to save. I think I might cut the, not this video, but the first video showing all the differences short. I might trim it to just like an hour or something, rather than try to combine all, however, 60 or 70 parts into one long video. Because I think I probably have more than an hour's worth of content at this point, showing all the differences and the memos that we keep finding and all that stuff. So I think I might actually maybe do like 2 or 3 videos showing the UFO ending, the second and third endings, and then the fourth one. That way it's not all jumbled up at once. Because I have no idea how many differences there are in these scenarios, so we might actually end up with a video that's well over 2 or 3 hours long at that point. So like I said, I think I might split it into 2. Like maybe this will be the last part of this first video showing the differences, and then I'll make another one. That way I also remove them from the hard drive to clear up space for the other games. Namely Tormented Souls 2 and Metal Gear Solid 2 whenever I start that one. Because there's a lot more differences that I originally imagined. I thought it was going to be simpler. Like I thought it was going to be, oh, just a few differences. But no, there's a lot of them. We keep finding a lot of different stuff, so it's probably better to just split it into 2 or 3 videos. Then try to jam it all in one super long video, and then it's like 4 hours long. And it's just too difficult to watch. Okay, so we got some Higashi, but without a shrine to dump all this stuff in, we can't pick up anything just yet. Let's see, is there one in here? God damn. Oh, there's his mask. And that's the mask he's gonna have us wear. And you can see all the dirty implements there, the knives. They did not sterilize that thing before. Oh! Fervent Collector. Embroidered drawstring bag. This embroidered drawstring bag is very high quality from the fabric to the pattern, so be careful not to get it dirty when storing your belongings. Increases inventory capacity. Your inventory has been expanded 13 to 14. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. So we actually robbed his ass, and it resulted in something positive. Fuck you, silver-haired fox guy. We'll take all your stuff. Look at that. I think that's her arm. Or her hand, at least. No, I think that is her arm. Look at it. It's got the hand and it's a long box. So, yeah. So, this is where he's storing them. So, how many other people has he done this to? Because it looks like there's dozens of boxes. Or are they all just keepsakes? Yeah, that's definitely her arm right there. So, is it the right one? Yeah, it is the right one. So yeah, we're in a loop. I know people hate those nowadays, but we are in a time loop of sorts. A perspective on Hiragami. It is a core tenet of Shintoism that each land throughout all Japan is protected by its own deities. Also, each one has its own different section. Nice. From this, people pray to the gods so that they and their lands might be blessed. In turn, their belief strengthens the gods and gives them the ability to better protect the land in a beneficial cycle of reciprocation. Yeah, so the gods need worship, I guess. They won't die without it, like they do in Neil Gaiman's American Gods, but it looks like they grow stronger the more people believe in them. If not, they might be pretty weak. That would also explain Silent Hill and why some of the gods there seem relatively weak, even though we know they're not just manifestations, because they need that worship. Without it, they're not nearly as strong. Thus, the bond between humans and gods is vital to the prosperity of both. If the underlying strength of this bond can indeed be explained through mortal blood, then the reason for the gods joining themselves in sacred matrimony to mortals who call their land home becomes evident. Perhaps it is through the addition of their blood that the bond between mortal and god is strengthened. Zeus would just say it's because it's horny, but I'm guessing here it actually serves a purpose marrying humans. Yeah, Zeus would just do it for the hell of it. And if this is true, then I should think that frequently upholding such forms of unification would be best for all involved. However, in practice, marital bonds between mortal and deity are vanishingly rare. It is a mystery why this is so, or perhaps I find the greater mystery to be why was I chosen. That's him, right? He's writing Is he thinking like Hinako's like a goddess that he's marrying her? Or did Hinako write this and she's marrying him and he's some type of god? I wonder who wrote this. I thought it was him, but I'm not quite so sure. It does seem like he seems to view her almost like a sort of goddess that he can own. Like he both venerates her and owns her at the same time. But that is her mask. Those are the implements they used. And this is her hand. That is her hand and her arm right there, so. So obviously in the real world, scientists would say, oh, it's because the gods don't exist at all. They're just figments of humans' imaginations. But in this case, in this series, we know there are supernatural entities. So I'm guessing it's just because of the lack of belief. And also maybe they just lost interest too in humanity. Mandate of the clan. Drain from the sacrifice for blood, sparing not a drop, and add onto it wine that has been distilled 8 times over. Hey, distilled. Brings back to mind the distilled water incident when Vash played Silent Hill 1. The war that sparked between users about what was healthy and what was not with distilled water. Spare her body of its earthly viscera and fill it instead with rice that has been mixed with the master's saliva before sealing it shut with needle and thread. Ew. The hell? In the dark shall the vessel rest undisturbed until the redolent odor of wine rises from her skin. Adorn her in fine garments befitting a bride, then set her afloat on a raft of straw, so her blood wine may seep into the water surface. Do this, and into the depths she shall sink, quelling the raft that waits below. See, it's stuff like this that makes me think it's not just a psychological trial for Hinako. It's not just to tell manifesting all this stuff together to deal with an issue. This guy is trying to do something concrete. Like, this is obviously some type of ritual beyond just her problems with her marriage and her abusive dad and her asshole mom and all that stuff, and Rinko being a psychotic huge bitch. Like, this guy is actually legitimately trying to do something here to raise that god or make Hinako into like her avatar. Like, it almost seems like he's trying to sacrifice her. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized. It just struck me. I thought he was marrying her all this time. You know, like they were to be joined in marriage and he will be her owner. But what if it's not Hinako who's his target? Like, what if he's just using Hinako as a sacrifice to raise the god so then he can marry her? Like, maybe, remember he said marriages between deity and mortal are rare. And that whole passage there referred to using her blood and lowering into like the river or something. So it makes me think that maybe he's using Hinako as a sacrifice so then he can marry that deity and gain power, I guess. So who knows what he plans to do with it. But we know he's lying to Hinako all this time. He's been lying since the first moment we met him, but we didn't know the purpose why. I thought maybe it was just to own her. Like I said, I thought he was a manifestation of the older guy she's marrying in real life. But what if this makes me think, what if he's not a manifestation of that older guy at all? What if he is a separate entity and he's just using her as a sacrifice to grow closer to this deity that he wants to marry for some reason? Because all that stuff cannot just have come out of her head, you know? Like, this is an actual cultist trying to pull off some supernatural, you know, ritual or mojo or something. Well, we filled out the last slot for the inventory. Yeah, so he's trying to do something that's actually supernatural here with that deity. So it's not just in Hinako's head. Like, this guy obviously has much greater plans. We just don't know what they are yet, besides possibly wanting to marry that god. But for what purpose? Yeah, see, I was thinking he was both. Like, he was both a manifestation of the older guy and his own thing. But what if he's not? What if he is a completely separate entity that just happens to resemble the older guy? Or maybe Hinako's mind, maybe her mind sees him as the guy she's marrying, but he's not even human at all. She's just been interacting with this monster that she doesn't see him for what he really is. Not just his attitude, but his actual appearance. Because we know from previous Silent Hills, when James explored the Lakeview Hotel, he did not see the burnt shell that was. He saw this beautiful hotel that he remembered. And it was part of his delusion, but at the same time, Laura also saw that beautiful hotel. So it is possible to have something be right in front of you and you don't really see what it is. You know, so she could be seeing this nice, handsome, silver-haired fox guy. That? Oh, that's the Naginata. Let's see if it's any stronger in this version. We know the buffs won't work for it because they only work for weapons with high durability, and this one doesn't decay at all, so it probably won't affect that. But maybe you can find something to up the damage for that. But yeah, like I was saying, neither James nor Laura saw the hotel for what it actually was. They saw this beautiful hotel. And Laura in particular is important because she never even been to the Lakeview Hotel in the first place, so she had no memories of it whatsoever. She didn't remember any of it because she was never there. James was the only one who was there. but they both saw it as an actual beautiful hotel. So I'm wondering here, what if the guy we've been seeing all along isn't what he actually looks like? What if it is just a monster, and that's just what she's seeing him as, because he reminds her of the old man that she's marrying. Like, maybe that's not even his actual true appearance at all. He's just a monster, period. So it just got a lot more intriguing. That's for sure. Yeah, so now we have to suspect everything we've ever seen about him, because that might not be his true appearance at all. Like, he might not even be human anymore, whatever he was in the first place. So yeah, now I'm really wondering who and what this guy actually is. But I'm guessing we won't find out until the fourth ending, which I've heard is the true ending. So I'm guessing we won't find that out either in ending 2 or 3. We have to wait until ending 4 to actually find out what this man actually is. If he even is a man. Because I'm thinking he might not be at all. So yeah, I think this is as far as we go for tonight. We haven't done as much progress as I'd hoped, but we are finding a lot of differences. We're finding a lot of extra files that shed light on the story. We got the UFO poster. We found out where the other poster is, the one that we have to click on, the third. So we have to find the second poster first. We did the second offering to the Jesus statue, so now we have 3 left. So once we get those 3, we should be able to get that sword. I'm really intrigued to see what that sword is and how much damage it actually does. Whether it's like a katana or something. It's got to be a katana, right? Because we're in Japan. It's got to be a katana. But how much damage does it actually do? And will the Omamori actually enhance that? So I'm looking forward to seeing what that weapon can actually do. And like I said, I think I'm going to make 2 separate save files. One to continue on with the game, and one for the UFO ending. That way we can get it out of the way, and then we can focus the rest of the way on getting those extra 2 endings. Before we tackle Lost in the Fog difficulty and getting the 4th and actual ending to the game. So that's our roadmap for now. So I'm probably not going to return to this for a couple days because I want to play Tormented Souls 2. But yeah, I'm really liking the second playthrough. It's a lot easier, but it's also, it just feels smoother, you know. It feels smooth compared to how janky it was before. I know part of that is all the enhancements we've had, and then that Momori helping out the weapon damage and durability and preventing the weapons from decaying, but it just feels a lot smoother this round than it did before. Which is a shame, because I think if it played like this on the first playthrough, you know, just slightly challenging, I think I would actually rank it a lot higher than I do right now. So I understand why they did this, probably to get you to play the game more. They're extending the replay value of the game, quote unquote. But the problem is the game on the first playthrough is so frustrating that many people might not actually go back to it at all. So it's almost kind of a wasted effort, because you want them to stick around for the second and third playthroughs so they can get the real ending to the game and also experience a lot more fun combat, because it actually is kind of fun now compared to how it was before. But the problem is, it was so frustrating before that I'm not sure how many people are actually going to return for the second and third playthroughs. Never mind even getting the UFO ending, they might not do even that. So I think it is kind of a misfire. You probably should put your best foot forward with the gameplay on the first playthrough. That gives people further incentive to play it, because they think, oh, if it's this good already, how much better is it going to be with the bonus weapons and the enhancements you get? But the way they did it here is you pretty much have to suffer, whether you're on story difficulty or hard difficulty. You pretty much have to suffer through a lot of unbalanced, uneven gameplay that's pretty damn janky and frustrating at times. Like I told you before, Roomby was basically losing her mind playing hard difficulty, just to get to the good part of the game, basically, which is where the gameplay finally shines in this second playthrough. So it's I get what they were going for, but I think it's a bit of a misfire, because they might actually push away a lot of the audience that normally would return for a second and third playthrough. So kind of a misfire on NeoBart's part. I know they're still relatively new developers. They haven't really done much besides Resident Evil multiplayer mini games. Like, this is their first full game that they've ever done, but it was still a bit of a misfire, and I think Konami should have advised them to do better in that regard, because if the game had played this smoothly on the first playthrough, I would have had no issues with it whatsoever. It would be probably in my top 4 Silent Hills. It's the fact that the gameplay was so damn bad at times, and so damn frustrating, you know, just sheer frustration. That's what caused me to have like a negative view on it. If it had played like this, I would have had no issues with it whatsoever. So it is a shame that it's that way, but hopefully enough people do return to it on a second and third playthrough that the game gains a pretty good reputation, because like I said, it is a pretty great game story-wise. The atmosphere is great, the story-wise, the story writing is great, the dialogue is great, the enemy design is great. It's just the actual gameplay during that first all-important playthrough that brings it down quite a few levels. You know, it's just too tedious and frustrating at times to really enjoy it the way you do some of the other games, or something like Resident Evil, you know. Because it doesn't have to be action-packed. Like, the first Resident Evil wasn't that action-packed, and it was still pretty enjoyable, even though it had a very slow pace. So it's all about balancing the gameplay. They just did not balance it well for that first playthrough, but we're gonna keep going with it, because so far it's a pretty fun experience on the second try. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time on Silent Hill F on the PS5. See you later, everyone.